you're watching the CTC Classics on BPNF Network.
And these pastries will be the apple of your eye.
Light, airy puff pastry wrapped around sweet or savory filling. Turnovers are hard to resist.
Their origin stems from Austria's beloved strudel, and Dell's Pastry makes theirs using a timeless apple pie filling.
And VP of Operations Thomas Mates knows what sets his turnovers apart from a strudel.
It comes from its Austrian origins, where it was a much thinner pastry, but to fit into the North American category, we've made it into a much flakier and more delicious pastry.
The Pastry Ovation happens in Canada's Big Apple, Toronto, Ontario.
And the first order of business is making the flaky puff pastry dough. Shortening and a mix of secret seasoning go into a mixer.
But it's no secret that flour is next. And the ingredients are mixed for a few minutes to break up the shortening.
To help bind everything together, water is added. It's ice cold.
In the mixing process, there's a lot of heat generated, and in order for us to control the heat, we add an exact portion of ice.
Once mixed, the mixing bowl lifts and the dough automatically falls into an extruder,
which reforms it into one uniform sheet.
It compresses it to an exact shape, an exact size in order for it to roll further down the line.
As the dough goes through a set of rollers, it emerges as one continuous sheet, and it's ready to butter up.
Yep. Blocks of butter are loaded into a separate extruder, which compresses it and deposits a thick layer of butter right on top of the dough.
Butter makes everything taste better.
Dell's Pastry loves it so much, they affectionately call it the fat pump.
As the dough travels forward, the edges are folded to cover the butter. Then it moves inside a laminating machine, which compresses and stretches the dough to make sure it's elastic.
So once the butter and the dough meet each other, they hit a multi-roller, which compresses the dough down from 45 millimeters all the way down to 6, and goes into a weave that creates 6 layers for the product.
And it's all these layers that'll ensure the dough is tender and flaky.
The weave dough does a double take as it goes through the laminating step once more.
And this time, the dough is gently rolled into a thin layer and punctured to form a lattice.
It's then cut into 4 strips and misted with water to allow for better adhesion when it's time to fold the edges.
And here comes the best part, the apple filling.
The filling is made in-house, and it starts with a blend of seasoning, which includes cake crumbs and cinnamon.
Wait a second, cake crumbs?
The cake crumbs help soak up some of the moisture from the apple and allow the pastry to stay fresh and flaky all the time.
For a bit of sweetness, sugar follows. And of course, apples.
Ontario sourced, the apples of Dell's Eye are the Spy and Cortland, and both are a sure way to keep the doctor away.
Corn syrup is last, and the filling is mixed once more. When ready, it's wheeled over to the production line where a pump transfers the filling to a depositor.
The filling is deposited as a long bead so that you get a taste of apple in every bite.
A metal bar gently folds the puff pastry dough over the filling.
It's not a fast process, but beauty does take time. You don't want a turnover do-over.
The giant turnover travels under a guillotine where it's cut into 10-centimeter long treats. Every year, Dell's Pastry makes over 67 million turnovers. That's no small picnic.
Turnovers get a mist of water before it relaxes under a sugar shower. Sounds amazing.
Coarse sugar will hold up longer in the bake cycle, and it gives you a nicer crunch to the product.
The pastries turn up on a baking sheet with the help of Megan and Joyce. And these ladies are quick.
You make 110 over a minute.
Trays are relocated to an oven where they'll bake for 40 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius.
When they hit the oven, the fat heats up and the steam in the product expands and helps create the layers between fat and the dough.
Smells like apple pie. Oh, get me a fork, would you?
The best time to eat an apple turnover is when it fresh comes out of the oven. You just have to watch that you don't burn your tongue.
Sometimes pain is worth it.
Not on my watch. They've got to cool down first.
Turnovers cool on a moving spiral unit and slide over to packaging.
They're packed 9 per clear container and head to a labeler.
Name tags intact. Containers are packed 10 per case. Palletized and ready to eat whenever you'd like to.
But we can't guarantee you won't get a little messy.
Yeah, you'll start to wear it.
There are worse things to wear than a yummy apple pastry.
CTC Saturday in 2 weeks. Watch my fellow ex-classmate Jeanette serenade us with Michelle branches everywhere. While other fellow ex-classmate, the beautiful Yameen Cordova, directs her version of Sonic Youth Superstars. So you think you can sing every other Saturday, only on CTC.
Watch it right now on the CTC Play, and never miss a thing on the CTC On Demand. The CTC Now with Jarrell Collins, every other Sunday, right here. Watch full episodes on demand.